My name is Mokhoo Morienyane. I work for SANAS in the certification program, accreditation. Today, I'm not going to be long because if I have to explain the whole process of accreditation, I'll have to take the whole week. Unfortunately, I'm only given 10 minutes, and like I'm saying, I need the whole week to explain to you properly. So Paul decided to restrict us into only 10 minutes. But in a nutshell, SANAS, South African National Accreditation Service, is the only accreditation body here in South Africa, and we are under DTI. SANAS has 3 sister companies: NRCS, SABS, NIMISA. I think most of you have already heard about them. It's all about regulations under NRCS, the standards from SABS, most of our standards that we accredit, and as well as the certification bodies, they certify against most of the or the standards that are coming from SABS. And we also have the other technical infrastructure under NIMISA, which works with traceability as well. And then we come with accreditation. We basically accredit certification bodies, and with a little correction that I have to be doing, as mostly the standard when we talk about the RTMS, certification body will be talking about certification, not accreditation. Accreditation comes from the accreditation body to the certification body, and the certification body will certify. So Coca-Cola, Air Products, and which one is gone? Golden Arrows. Yeah, you have got your RTMS certification, not accreditation. That's not a bad thing anyway. It's not like it's very wrong. SANAS, SANAS is actually under the International Accreditation Forum. This is where we get all the mandates that we have to be complying to in order for us to accredit. But lately, there is the African Accreditation Corporation named AFRAC that will also be our peer, and though AFRAC, basically it audits us as well. We also get audited to ensure that we comply to the standard. And under SANAS accreditation, that is where we will be certifying most of the certification bodies, or all the certification bodies that will seek accreditation. Accreditation basically is only a voluntary, it runs under the voluntary space, so it depends whether the certification body will need accreditation or not. For the companies that are certifying on RTMS and other quality management systems, we certify against the standard 17021, ISO IEC 17021, which gets adopted by SABS, and it can be used in South Africa. And here, under certification body, our certification body will be certifying then the industry on SANS 1395 of 2014. In this case, the client will be JC auditors for today. The accreditation bodies, we said we comply to the standard 17011 and the International Accreditation Forum mandatory documents. The 17011 has different clauses or requirements that we have to be complying to. One of the most important requirement is to have competency. For example, I will just explain a little bit. When a certification body goes to SANAS to seek for accreditation, SANAS must first, before they agree to accredit or to continue with the accreditation process, they have to see whether they have the necessary competency. This is where Paul and Adrian and Kathy will be coming in to say that they will help us to have that competency when we accredit. If we cannot get that accreditation, or we realize that we do not have the the competency, then we can talk to our peers. AFRAC, like we said, we have the African Cooperation right now, or we'll talk to other peers from around the world, because we said we are also under International Accreditation Forum in order for us to see that we have the competency. As a result, we have to ensure that we have the competency. I like Jonathan was talking about the risks. So we need to ensure that the competency that we have or the competent assessors that are going to accredit or to assess the certification bodies can certify or can assess the certification bodies based on the risk. So all this will be based on risk approach. So in that case, in 17011, after we look at that competency, then the certification body has to supply us or submit the quality manual that I'll be looking briefly in when I look at the accreditation process on ISO 17021, as well as our own requirements. So it's not an easy process that Oliver and his team went through, because they had to make sure that they comply to 17021-1. They had to ensure that they comply to SANAS requirements. They had to ensure that they comply to the IAF mandatory documents, and they had to ensure that they also comply to their own standards as well, in order for them to give this service to the industry. In the accreditation bodies, we are not only looking at the existing certification bodies. There could still be new existing certification bodies, but the certification body, when they apply for accreditation or when they seek for accreditation, they need to have existing clients. Either they can be new clients or they will be existing clients, in order for us to see that they are really competent in giving out the process. What is the importance of certification? Here I gave a very short explanation that the overall aim of the management system certification is to provide assurance that the organization has implemented a system for the management of the relevant aspects of activities, products, services, in line with the organization's policies, as well as the requirements of the respective international management standards. What does this mean? It means that when Oliver and his team are coming to a company to certify, they're just providing you with assurance. They're just providing the national or the industry that there is assurance of implemented system. So our mandate is to attest that the certification body can certify and can give that assurance to the industry or to the public to ensure that the systems are being, or the standards are being complied to. The value of certification will also be the degree of confidence and trust. Remember, we are talking about confidence, we are talking about trust, we are talking about assurance. I like today, because it is my first time to attend this workshop on road transport management system, but I think it's more relevant to be talking about confidence, but because I would be more confident to be driving below or behind the Coca-Cola truck, because now they have given us assurance. They have given us trust in them, because they have been certified on the standard of 1395. So the aim of certification is that it's to give the degree of confidence and trust, and is established by an impartial and competent demonstration of fulfillment of specified requirements by the third party. In this case, the third party will be the certification bodies that we accredit. The 17021-1 of 2016, as per the SANS standard, is the one that we are using. It's the conformity assessment. This is the requirements for providing for providing audit and certification of management system. This means that the certification bodies like JC auditors will comply to this standard. And our job is to ensure that the certification bodies are complying to the requirements of 17021. Over and above this, okay, there are some other management systems that we are accredited to, like the 9001, which the last speaker was talking about them, the 14,001, but the most important one is the SANS 1395, the Road Transport Management System, which is also under 17021. But over and above that, we also have supplementary requirements in order for us to ensure that the certification body can assure the implementation of the management system. We need to also look at the competency of their auditors. Are they competent enough? Do they have the relevant technical knowledge? Do they have the relevant knowledge of the risks that are being related to that particular standard or that particular management system? Do they know the risks that are related to the industry or the products or even the services that is needed by the public? So over and above 17021 that I just spoke about, 17021-5, there is also ISO 17021-7, whereby we are looking at the competency of the auditors that are coming to audit you as the industry to look at the processes. Okay, that's the same 17021-7 of 2017, and with SANS, I don't know if SANS has adopted this already, but it's the additional competency requirements. Over and above that, remember we said they are not only complying to the standard, they also have to comply to SANAS technical requirements. So in this case, we have our own requirements, the TR22, which is the technical requirements, whereby we have also laid down the requirements or the technical requirements for a certification body to comply to, in order for us to say we are confident in them, we have assured them, we have attested that they can certify on the particular management system that they are looking for. There are other TR documents, or there are other policies, or there are other documents that they still have to comply to for SANAS, which are available on the SANAS website. They are on the SANAS website because, remember, the certification body is the one that is coming to the industry, is not even us. But we also want the industry to be able to go onto the SANAS website to see what the certification body has to comply to, in order for you to be able to know, in order for us as the nation, as the industry, or as the people that are, or as the companies that are providing services or products, we know what they are coming to us or what they have to be complying on. So there are a couple or a lot of SANAS requirements that the certification bodies have to comply to on the SANAS website. I also mentioned that there are some principles that the certification body has to comply to. On those principles will only inspire confidence and trust. And this trust should be impartiality. The most important thing is to see that the certification body is impartial. It's when they certify or when they come and certify the products as per the management systems that they have chosen. They have to be competent. We said there is a standard, the 17021-7, which is an additional requirement, an additional standard that has the requirements for competency of the auditors. The certification body should also be responsible. There is a responsibility. The responsibility is also on their shoulders because they are coming into the industry to say, okay, you comply to RTMS, you comply to this particular standard because you are saying the trucks are safe. So what are they certifying? Are they responsible? They take the responsibility of that. That is why in your certificates that you get from the certification bodies, there will still be their name, there will still be their addresses because they're also taking responsibility for that. When Coca-Cola, after okay, Coca-Cola is happy. They're saying they have been certified for RTMS, but the certification body is still responsible for that because they are the ones that have given out the certificate. More of the principles will include openness, confidentiality, responsiveness to complaints, and risk-based approach, which I think is the buzzword lately because we are looking at the risks that are being related to the industries that we are working on. I think each and everything that we comply to, each and every service that we get, each and every product has a risk. So what is the risk-based approach? Hence why when I started at the beginning, I also said SANAS should also ensure that they have competent assessors that can apply the risk-based approach when they accredit the certification bodies. How does the process, what is the process? This is where we always get a bit of a problem because we have to explain the whole process, and the process is a little bit a lengthy one, but if the certification body already has a management system, then it's easy for them to go through. First of all, the process will start with an application. It depends on the certification body wants which management system. We said there are management systems like 9001, 14001, the 1395. So the certification or the accreditation that you are seeking, we first apply to SANAS, and then we will take you through the application because it's a little bit lengthy application. And like I already said, you need to have an established management system, but which will also help to take through. When the application has been reviewed, we now require you to send us your manual, your quality manual, as the certification body. You send us the quality manual, you send us the procedures. Those procedures are the ones that are guiding you to be able to go to the industry to certify the industry. So we get to the process called the document review to ensure that we are as the certification bodies, we are complying to the 17021-1 to 17021-7 to the SANAS requirements as well as the IAF documents, even the regulations if it's a regulatory space. After the document review, we will make a recommendation. Our recommendation will be whether you continue with the initial assessment. Some of the certification bodies, they will require a pre-assessment, but it's not mandatory. You can actually go straight into initial assessment. The initial assessment includes what we call the witnessing. Before we come to the office, remember we have looked at your documents. We have even said that you have addressed the requirements of the standard in your procedures and in your policies, as well as the quality manual. So we need to see that whatever you said you are doing, you are able to implement. Hence why we said you need to have a client. You need to implement that. How is the implementation being assessed? By looking at the records. Have you had a client already? Yes, we have a client. We need to see that file, that how did you treat this client? Was the client complying to the standard or to the management system that you said you are applying for or you are seeking accreditation for? So we need to witness that. What does the witnessing mean? It means together with the certification body, we come to the industry. We come with JC auditors to Coca-Cola to see how they audit. Are they competent enough to be auditing and applying the risk-based approach as well as the process-based approach for them to be able to certify? So in that case, that's the process of initial assessment. We witness the auditing, the certification body when they audit their clients. So we also, in this case, this is where we always get a problem because most of the certification bodies will be saying they have a problem securing a client because the client doesn't want SANAS or doesn't want a third party to come. But it's very important because it's very important and it's very beneficial to the industry because we need to see whether the auditors are competent enough. We won't be able to witness each and every client, but we'll just sample a client that will be witnessing, and then with that, we can make a recommendation. Over and above the witnessing, we also do what you call the office assessment. This is where now we go back to the certification body, to their main offices, and we look at the files. We take the files of the clients that they have certified or that are in the process of certification to see that, to also attest whether they are complying to the standard, whether whatever they said they are doing, they are actually implementing, and to check their competency as well, with impartiality, confidentiality, openness as well. Out of that, that's when we can make a recommendation. We still, just like you said earlier on, some of the people said that they got non-conformances which they had to close within a certain period of time. We can still issue some non-conformances depending on whether the clauses of the standard or the requirements are being addressed. So in that case, we give them non-conformances. They can close the non-conformances within a period that is being given, and then after that, we will take the whole assessment pack to the approvals committee, whereby the approvals committee now is in SANAS. We'll look at the whole pack, how we have assessed, whether we were competent enough as assessors, whether the information that we have captured shows that the clauses of the standard the clauses of the standard or the requirements of the standard, like 17021, are being addressed, and how the implementation is being done. When the approvals committee review is happy with that, or they are satisfied with the information that we have given, they'll make a decision. The decision will either be, if they need more information, then we can engage with the certification bodies to get all the information that is needed. But the decision can be made. The decision can be made out of the outcome would either be accreditation is being granted or it's not being granted. This will only depend on what information we have. If the accreditation is being granted, then we give the certificate to the certification body with the SANAS symbol. In this case, this is where the certification body will have the mandate, or they will choose whether they want to put the SANAS symbol on your certificate as the public. The process goes on because we still need to maintain, they need to maintain their accreditation. Like some people said, we have our certificate, they need to come again for an audit. So we also visit the certification body after 6 months to see that they are actually they are still complying to the standard. Some people, after getting the certificate, they just relax. We just need to see that this has been maintained. We'll have the 6 months follow-up. We have annual assessments as well as the reassessment. And the cycle for this will take 3 years. With JC auditors, I think they are already at the end of their first cycle now. Then they are going to we are going to assess them again towards the end of this year for their second cycle, to see that they are still maintaining their accreditation and complying to the requirements of the standard. This slide I'm not going to go through because it just shows what happens through the 3-year cycle that we are also giving, because remember we said after every 3 years then we will go back, reassess as if it's an initial assessment, and we continue, we can make a recommendation whether the certificate or the accreditation can be continued. I think in a nutshell, that's how accreditation goes. If you have any questions, you can always contact my boss, John, at SANAS, or you can also contact me. I didn't put my details. I just want all the hard questions to go to him.